Spatial filtering is the topic of today's lecture. We are continuing our lectures on image enhancement. Image enhancement is broadly divided into two types. We have seen that one is image enhancement in spatial domain, and second type is image enhancement in frequency domain. Under spatial domain, spatial filtering, intensity level transformation, contrast enhancement, histogram equalization, all these are methods under which the pixel values are directly manipulated. So in continuation with that, spatial filtering is another method under that type of image enhancement method. As we know that in spatial filtering, if you see the diagram, if you can see the diagram, there is origin and let us start the pointer. Yeah. So you can see here there is origin. I mean, this is an image. You choose a pixel and then we can modify, we can manipulate these pixel values by using different operators or directly manipulating by multiplying or dividing the intensity values, or we can use certain operators or filter or mask. So that is what we do in this spatial filtering. We'll use some masks or filters to select or to reject certain components, and based on that, accordingly we call it as smoothing and sharpening of images. So say mask operation. In mask operation, output pixel value, in the masking operation what happens, your output pixel value means the pixel values which are present in output image. How will we get this? Some algorithm performed on all pixels in neighborhood of corresponding input pixel. There is one input pixel, and in the neighborhood of those pixels, we will perform certain computational algorithms, some method, so that the manipulation of those pixels takes place. All right. The size of neighborhood which we will choose is the size of mask. Whatever size you can see in this diagram, the size of neighborhood will be the size of mask. The mask which will be used in order to filter in a spatial domain. Mask slides from left to right, and then from top to bottom. So how does that operator move? It moves from this side, from left side to right side, then covers, then again comes back from left to, then again left to right, and then entire image is covered from then top to bottom. So your movement, it goes from left to right and then top to bottom, left to right and top to bottom. That is how it works. Same operation is performed on every pixel. If a mask is chosen, the same mask will be operating over each and every pixel, the area where we are interested to change, the area we are interested to filter. So in that area, whatever number of pixels are there, in each pixel, the same masking operation will be performed. Neighborhood operations. The neighborhood operations operate on large neighborhood of pixels than point operation. See what happens in spatial filtering. Spatial filtering can be achieved, can be implemented as point-wise as well as a mask. Using a mask, it can be done. In point-wise operation, we simply choose a pixel value, and then we can modify the pixel value, and accordingly we'll get output image. Whereas in neighborhood operation, we get some larger neighborhood of pixels. as compared to point operation. And the neighborhoods are mostly rectangle, that is mostly rectangle or around the central pixel. Say here, if you choose a pixel, so it will be a rectangle, that masking. You choose here the neighborhood. If you see this cursor, this pointer, if you choose one pixel, so in the neighborhood means the adjacent pixels will constitute a mask. And that mask will be operated, that mask will be applied over all the pixels of the images, and accordingly, we'll get different pixel values corresponding to each pixel value. If you see here in the first diagram, there are two pixels, blue and red color. If we apply certain masking operation, we'll get the position will be same, but for whatever pixel we are computing, the new pixel value it will result. Ultimately the pixel values are changing because of masking operation, because of filtering operation, because of neighborhood operation. Like you can see here that suppose there is a origin and there is a neighborhood, xy is the pixel position, and this is the input image. Now there is a target image. So this target image, you can find that the xy dimension will remain same, but the pixel value, f is input and g is output, the pixel value will change. So that happens in spatial filtering, and that change and the manipulation can be performed in a number of ways, by using different masks, by using different operators. So mainly in spatial filtering, in a spatial domain, we choose a neighborhood, and over the neighborhood, we apply the masking operation and then modify the pixel values. Like you can see here that from here to here, we get it by using a spatial filtering. Say for example, there is an input image. Input image here is represented as a matrix. We know that inside the computer, the image is stored as a digital image only, and digital image is nothing but a pixel. That digital image is nothing but a matrix which consists of pixel values. And see, these are the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and K, L, M, right? See, we have chosen a simple 3 by 3 neighborhood. For example, there is E here, and we have chosen 3 by 3 neighborhood, means in the neighborhood, in the surrounding of E, you can see that 3 cross 3 neighborhood has been chosen, and at the center E is located. So this is called as neighborhood. So original image pixels are this one, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, where say this is E here, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So this entire matrix A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I is present here. Now what we will do, we will use a masking operation. As I told you that the mask can be applied over the entire image or over the neighborhood. As you choose the size of neighborhood, accordingly there will be change in the output image. So if you choose a 3 by 3 filter for this masking operation, right? Suppose the filter function is this one. Please try to understand. Very simple. This is a matrix of the entire image where F is the input image, but out of the entire image, we are choosing a neighborhood. Which neighborhood? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Over this neighborhood, we want to apply a filter. It's a kind of mask that is 3 cross 3. Why it is called as mask? KLM, NOP, QRS. The values of this KLM, NOP coefficients and QRS coefficients may be anything. You can make them all 0. If you make them all 0, the image will be suppressed. We can see only darkness in this 3 by 3 neighborhood. If we increase if we choose this KLM and OP higher than 1, then what will happen? The original grayscale values will become greater than 1. So will become brighter than what it looks in original image, what it is looking in original image. So therefore, that's a filter, that's a mask. We can say it is a filter, or we can say it as a mask. And this is the original image. Now how will be our output image corresponding to this neighborhood. We are not talking about this one because the entire image is not going to change. What is going to change is this particular portion only. So you can see how the operation is taking place. This O is center and E. So O is, multiplied with E, then K with D, K with A, L with B, and C with M, N with D, P with M, and then A with G, Q with G, R, small r with H, and S with I. What is happening? This masking operation, this mask is operating or applying over this neighborhood. So it's a kind of filter. How filter works? These are actually not the direct product. We apply actually kind of convolution, a spatial convolution. We convolve because when the mask moves from left to right, we do not directly multiply the values, rather we convolve. So this will give us the new value, processed image or output image, and then we'll get some image. For example, see here that there is a neighborhood 100, 104, 100, 108, 99, 106, 98, 95, 90, and 85. Look at here. This is a 3 by 3 neighborhood. All right, 106. So at center 106 is there. Now we want to smooth it. We want to smoothen it. How do we smoothen it? Smoothing operation is just like averaging, kind of averaging, where the higher intensity values will become slightly lower and lower may become slightly higher. Means there is a uniform distribution of intensity images, intensity or grayscale values. So we smooth, the edges, high frequency components are suppressed. Their grayscale values are reduced. We get the smoothened output. So what we are choosing, you look at here, 1 by 9, 1 by 9, 1 by 9, all are different value. We can choose, all are same values, but we can choose different values as well. So 3 by 3 smoothing filter, we are applying this. Original image is this one. Now this is our filter mask. So if you calculate by using the last expression which we have discussed in the previous slide, look at here. If you apply this, right, we'll get a new value where for this particular value. Now this mask can move, and when this mask is moving, these 6 values may overlap with these 6 values now. When again it moves, these 6 values may overlap only with these 3 values. So possibly these 3 will be multiplied by these 3. So accordingly the operation is performed, and then we get different values. For each pixel, neighborhood operation is performed to generate the smoothened image. For each and every pixel, the masking operation is performed, and we get a different pixel value. And based on different pixel value, all the new pixel values are obtained, and then image, you can see the significant change in the input image. Weighted smoothing filters. As its name suggests, smoothing filters will have its weight. Weight means the masking coefficients, the filter coefficients will have their weights. The weights may be, averaging weights. The weights may be higher than 1. The weights may be lower than 1, depending on what actually we want to do with the image. And accordingly, we have to choose the smoothing filter coefficients. So these are coefficients: 1 by 16, 2 by 16, 1 by 16, 1 by 16, 2 by 16, 1 by 16, and so on. So pixel values, smoothing filter uses different weights as an averaging function. Pixels are multiplied by different coefficients, thus giving more weight to some pixel at expenses of others. Means some pixels will get more weight, some pixels will get less, giving more weight to some pixels and the expansions to others, at the expenses of others. The central pixel is multiplied by higher value than any other, thus giving the pixel more importance in the calculation of average. The other pixels are inversely weighted as a function of their distance from center to mask. Look at here, 4 by 16, it becomes 2 by 16, 1 by 16, 2 by 16, 1 by 16, 2 by 16, 1 by 16. So you can see inversely weighted as a function of distance from the center of mask. Okay, this is 4 by 16, the highest one. Center is assigned higher value generally, and then when it moves away from the center, the values get reduced. So this is smoothing filter. And one possible output we can understand suitable for, this is the input image and this is the output image. In fact, if you see the first image, the quality of image is very nice, very nice. But in the second image, what has been done? Smoothing. As I told you, in smoothing, what happens? Those values which are having higher values, they become slightly lower. If you look at this black color or these edges, I mean the hairs of the cat, which are edges, and they are known as high frequency components. They are known as high frequency components. Wherever there are, edges, sharp things are there, sharpened things are there, they are called as edges. And those edges, if you look at here, those edges are smoothened here. So in the second picture, you cannot find very clearly the hairs of, the hairs on the head of the cat. So it is suitable for blurring and noise reduction to remove detailed information and bridging all small gaps in lines and curves. So whenever there are small gaps between the lines, between the curves, if you want to bridge those gaps, if you want to bridge those small curves and lines, this smoothing operation is performed. This is generally used to reduction of, to the blur and the noise which is present in the, because of sometimes, blur in the image, you get this type of gaps or the lines or the curves, which we need to smoothen. So when we want to smoothen, we can apply spatial filter. That was example of smoothing. The next one is example of sharpening. In the sharpening, you see that it highlights or enhances fine detail that has been blurred. If you compare the first image and second image, even the first image we are not changing. This was smoothened output in the previous case. Now in this case, look at here. I mean, the hairs and all these curves, the lines are more visible, clearly visible in the second picture. Why? It's because of sharpening operation. And in sharpening operation, highlighting and enhancement of fine detail, which is actually blurred. Blurry image is looking like smoothened image. There is, the blur which has been added with the original image. So we can remove those blur using sharpening filter. So in electronic printing, medical imaging, industrial inspection, where fine details, minute details play very important role. In medical imaging, electronic printing, when you design a PCB, so very thin lines of, the circuits, the connections, and those thin lines need to be very clearly highlighted so that those components can be fabricated on the PCB design or any electronic printing. So in such applications like medical imaging, where the smallest, the minute details inside the medical images in the treatment or any part of the images, lung, breast, head, that MRI, chest, CT, in all these images, the minute details play significant role. And if a minute detail is suppressed, it is overlooked, the diagnosis result may be poor. So in such applications, industrial inspections, this sharpening operation is used. If you see this diagram very carefully, it is very interesting. Linear filtering result. If we apply the linear filtering operation to the original image, which is shown here as A and the other smaller values of A, when we use 3x3 neighborhood, that linear filtering mask, we'll get this output. 5x5 will get this. 9x9 will get this. For 15x15 we'll get this output. For 35x35 we'll get this output. Now let us understand which result is better. Whether the result for 3x3 is better, or 5x5, or 35x35. And when you compare, when you can clearly see in the results that when you are increasing the size of neighborhood, when you're increasing the dimension of filtering or mask operation, the quality of image is degrading. It means more blurry it looks like. It looks like more blur is present in the images. Why? Can we understand why it is happening? Let us understand why it is happening. This is very important thing. Why it is happening that this when we see 3 cross 3, there is some quality. 5 cross 5, there is some quality. 9 cross 9, there is some quality. Okay. And 15 cross 15, there is some quality. And if you compare all these images, you will find that for 3 cross 3, the quality looks best. Why? Simple reason is, the smaller you choose the size of mask, the better will be output. Why? Because if you choose the larger neighborhood, the filtering operation will not be effective. You are choosing a broad pixel and broad filtering mask, and then you are covering. So what will happen in the entire image will be covered very soon when you choose a bigger mask size. So extensively, the filtering is not taking place. And therefore, if you choose smaller the size of mask, better will be the quality. Because more changes are occurring in the pixels present in the image. So this is very interesting result that shows that smaller is the pixel, smaller is the neighborhood size, better is the quality of image produced by the filtering. This is one example where there is original image, blurry image. In the second image, we can see a blurry image, and in the third one, we find output of thresholding. What is thresholding? In thresholding, we assign only 2 values. You look at here, only 2 values. In the second one, blurry means the entire image, the original image, the masking has been done. Averaging operation, some kind of averaging operation has been performed. And therefore, there is some distribution of grayscale values you can find here. Whereas in third one, you have assigned only 2 values and other values are not allowed. And therefore, you can clearly find, the whitish areas in the input image. So what we do actually in thresholding, we choose a certain value as a threshold, and beyond that either we'll suppress or allow, and below that we'll either allow or suppress. And accordingly, we'll get binary images which will have only 2 color variants. As I've already told you in my previous lecture, that the grayscale images also have a number of color variants. It's not like that black and white image means only 2 colors. There are hundreds of variants of constructed with the help of black and white image. So these are some more masking operations, like the mask coefficient can be also assigned as W00 is the central pixel, then 0, 1 we are going towards right side, we are going towards left, so we can write 0, -1, and then if we are going back to the previous row, we can say -1, 0, because you are in the same column, but your number of row is reducing, so we can write -1. If you move ahead, 1, 0. If you go this side, 1, 1, this side, 1, -1, because this is the position 1, 1, -1. So -1, 0, 1, -1, -1, -1, -1, 0, 1, because this is increasing. But if you go this side, if you see here, -1 remains same for row, -1, 0, and 1, that is increasing. So we can use any nomenclature, any other terminology can be used. But generally we focus on central pixel, and therefore we can assign these type of values. So when we convolve, as I told you, actually we convolve. This is your window function. What is our input image? Input is fxy. What do we want? Gxy. So we can write G as convolution between W and F. So how do we convolve in time domain? In frequency domain, it is very easy. But now we are not discussing about frequency domain method. We are discussing about time domain. So in time domain, the convolution is lengthy. It takes a lot of time. Like how we are doing WST. So when S and T are variables in W, by the same values, there will be delay in the variables of F. This is how we calculate the convolution in time domain. Fx minus S, Wy minus T. Now we can change the values of S and T SNT, we can see here SNT are from -1 to 1. If you see the WST function here, they are extending from -1 to 1, -101, -101. And accordingly, all possible values, right? If you put S and T both 0, 0, you will get 0, 0, F, X, Y, right? So for 0, 0 position, it's not changing. You whatever, F, W00 means when you put S00 here, what will happen? W00 means this one, it will be multiplied by FXY, X, S, and T are 0, 0. So whatever is the input pixel value will be directly multiplied by the 0, 0 for what? S equal to 0 and T equal to 0. And but it does not take only one possible combinations, but it is taking all 9 combinations. So for all those 9 combinations, like if you put ST11, you can see here ST and 11, you will find X, Fx minus 1, Y minus 1. What is this? Whatever pixel you were talking about, now you are talking about -1, -1 means 1 row back and 1 column back. So possibly dimensionally you will go back and then you will multiply by W11. And in this similar manner, you can complete the computations and you can perform the convolution like this, right? This is the input image, this is the convolution. When you apply the masking like this, when you solve here, right, this 2, 2, 2, 1, here it is coming because overlap is coming here only. 2, 2 ja 4, 2, 2 ja 1, 2 minus 1 ja minus 2, and 1, 1 ja 1. So in convolution, what do we do? Successive product, and then we add them. So 4 plus 2 minus 2 plus 1, we will do all these, we'll get 5. So in place of this pixel value, we are now getting a new pixel value of 5. And this process will repeat. Just use this formula under, that's all. You have to see that what are the range of this window coefficients, and accordingly choose the range of values, put those values, multiply here, like here window function, same window function here. Window function is from actually your -2, -1, 0, no. There are four values, 4 cross 4. So accordingly, you can choose any central value and then you can assign the different possible values. So if we calculate for next value, you will get 4. Then next value, you will get 4. And similarly, you will get the output image G as this for all these pixels. And the final output image will look like this one. Where if you compare 5, 4, 4, -2, 9, 6, 14, 5, 11, 7, 6, 5, 9, 12, 8, 5 with what was the original image? This was the original image. Now, is there any change? Yes, there has been a lot of change. So output image is changing by using convolution. By using convolution method, the output image is changing. And this is nothing but a spatial filter. As I told you, in a spatial filtering, it's not like intensity level transformation where you can simply multiply the pixels by certain values. Rather, we use a filter function, we use a mask function that operates over the neighborhood of the pixels. And in the neighborhood of the pixels, in the time domain, when we want to do it, the convolution is needed because direct multiplication cannot be computed. So what do? We convolve that masking operation over the neighborhood and we get the different new pixel values, and finally we get an output image. So that's all for spatial filtering. There are some important applications of spatial filtering, like you can see some diagrams here. CT lung cancer analysis. These are the CT images of lung which has been captured here. Diagnosis of MRI images. Lot of things. These are the systems. I do not want to explain here the arrangement of scanning, arrangement of image acquisition and capturing. But when we acquire the images, capture the images, you can see there are circuitry, there are sources, there is proper setting is there. You need to have proper illumination there. You need to have proper pose. Then you can just switch on your device and your CT is captured. So these are the setups or the areas where a lot of possibility of mixing unwanted signal, which we call as noise artifact, is possible. And in order to address that, the spatial filtering is used. Like when we are diagnosing MRI images, if you compare the first image and the second image, you find that there is some area which can be further highlighted. And if you can see here, clarity is more, more visibility is there in third image. So the tissues kind of structures can be seen in a better visible manner, and then we can better diagnose with the images. There are hundreds of other possible applications of the smoothing or a spatial filtering operation, remote sensing application. When we capture aerial images, satellite images, then the picture quality is not good. The image quality is poor. When weather is not good and the satellite is sending us the picture. Remote sensing, same situation, aerial imaging, poor, the bad weather, poor, weather conditions, huge rain. All these are things where when you capture the image, then the quality will not be good one, quality will suffer. So under those situations, we need the filtering operation to apply, and the spatial filtering can be used in many of these applications. So let us sum up this lecture, what we have done, in this lecture. Spatial image enhancement is one important type of image enhancement method. There are two types of image enhancement method, frequency domain and spatial domain. Under spatial domain, the pixel values in the digital image are directly manipulated or directly modified. Whereas in frequency domain, we calculate the Fourier transform of input image. We calculate the Fourier transform of filtering function or masking function, which we are calling here as a mask in a spatial filtering. Then we can directly multiply those frequency transforms, Fourier transform. Take the inverse Fourier transform of the product, you will get the enhanced or processed image. But that's not very easy in a spatial filtering. In a spatial filtering, we apply the operation in time domain. We choose a masking operation, we choose a filtering operation, and that mask is applied to some neighborhood of the pixels. And when we apply that mask to neighborhood of the pixels, then each and every pixel will produce new pixel value in the produced image, in the processed image. And ultimately, based on what is the mask size, what are the values of pixel values in the mask, what are the values in the mask coefficients or filter coefficients, accordingly there will be change in the grayscale values given in the input image, and accordingly we'll get the enhanced image, we'll get the filtered image, or we'll get the processed image. What is more important here we have noted in this lecture is the filter size, the dimension of mask, the size of mask plays an important role. We have seen in the previous slide then that the mask size, when it is low or lowest, the processed image quality is best one. Lowest is the smallest is the mask dimension, highest is the picture quality, best is the picture quality. Because when you choose a small dimension of neighborhood filter, that mask, and when you apply to a neighborhood operation, neighborhood pixels, smaller you take means when you slide from left to right and from top to bottom, all your pixels, more and more number of pixels will be covered because your neighborhood size is less, your mask dimension is less. Even if you move from left to right or top to bottom, more and more pixels will be touched, will be affected by the filter coefficients. But when you choose a bigger one and when you slide, what will happen? That maybe one or two slides or three slides, 3-4 sliding operations, the entire image will be covered. And then the effectively, the result will not be better. So this is one important observation. This is important concept in a spatial filtering, where we choose a mask, where you choose a filter function. Smaller is the filter function, better is the quality. So this is all about this lecture called as spatial filtering. And spatial filtering is under the spatial domain image enhancement, where the intensity values are directly manipulated using masking operation or filtering function. Then we have concluded this lecture by certain applications like medical imaging, like remote sensing, like agricultural, plant and agricultural applications, geographical applications, aerial imaging, where even fine details, minute details play important role. In those applications, the spatial domain, although as I told you, frequency domain in most of the literature is considered as better method than spatial domain method. So both the methods have their advantages and disadvantages, but we are not comparing here a spatial domain with a frequency domain. When we'll compare, that time we'll discuss in detail where the spatial domain method is better and where it is not better. I mean, which are the conditions, which are the situations, which are the cases where frequency domain image enhancement is better or spatial domain image enhancement is better. One thing which we can note here is in a spatial domain image enhancement method, the focus is always on human visual perspection, whereas frequency domain image enhancement mainly aims at producing the images that could be efficiently understood or interpreted by the computer. So we can say for human vision, spatial filtering has more importance. I'm not saying that spatial filtering cannot be used for machine vision. And similarly, frequency division or frequency image enhancement, frequency domain image enhancement, they are mostly used for the machine vision applications. The images need to be processed so that machine can understand, interpret those images in a better way. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.